everybody, Stephanie here from Instant Pot Basics and Beyond, where I teach you how to get the most out of your Instant Pot. Today we're going basic and we're going to talk about beans, dried beans. Now, we all know dried beans are cheap, they're good for you. Man, they're a pain to cook, right? You got to soak them overnight, and then you got to drain them, and then you got to cook them, and then you got to, and it just takes forever, right? Obnoxious. Well, this is one of those things where your Instant Pot comes in so handy because they cook way less time than on the stove and you don't have to do any prep work. So I'm going to turn this on to saute just to get this hot, and I'm going to add in my water. Confession time. These beans are a little bit old. I'm talking like, these are pinto beans. I'm talking like sitting in food storage for a couple years old, which is fine. They will cook, should cook. If your beans are super duper old, they just won't ever soften all the way. But they're going to take a little more care than beans you buy at the grocery store, which is fine. I should have probably soaked these overnight, just like I said, because they are older, but honestly, beans that you buy from the store you're going to cook, there's no soaking. You don't need to. I'm also going to add just a little bit extra water than I normally would, again, because they're old, but it's fine. So if you've got fresh beans, so then I'm going to do 3 cups of pinto beans, and then I'm doing 8 cups of water. Like I say, if they were fresh from the store, as fresh as dry beans can be, I guess, you probably only need about 7 cups of water. If you have more, it doesn't matter. You just can't do over your max fill line, and I'd even keep it a little bit lower because, you know, beans expand a little bit. All right, so I got beans, I got water. So this probably only even comes up 2/3 of the way, so we're totally fine. Now, these beans, I was just smoothing them. It doesn't matter, they're all gonna. Anyway, these beans that I'm making, I want specifically for a taco bar that I'm participating in. So I'm going to add in some taco seasoning. If I'm doing them for refried beans, I actually do like an onion and garlic and stuff like that. If you don't have a specific purpose for them, you don't need to add anything. Water and beans is all you need. Another really great thing is to know is that you can freeze cooked beans. So you just put them in like zip top baggies and put them in the freezer. And just pull them out when you need them, portion them out. It's good to go. They make a great baby food for like them learning how to feed themselves, as long as they're nice and mushy. Okay, we're going to put the lid on. You can line up the arrows in the front. You can line up your big thing in the back. Twist it on. So since I put this on saute, I have to turn it off. Beans, they do take a while. So ordinarily, you're going to cook beans for 45 minutes. I'm not using... There's a bean setting. I'm just using the manual. Apparently I now have the helper. This is what I get for not waiting for nothing. No, we're not getting that out. Sorry. Here, hold this one. Hold this one. Let's not play with that one. Sorry, guys. Okay, so manual pressure. Oh, see, I waited too long. I'm going to go, so typically I do my beans for 45 minutes and then a full natural release. Because these are a little bit older, I'm actually going to go for 55 minutes today, just because I want to make sure, well, maybe I'll go 50. We'll just go 50. Okay, so once you set your time, it's going to wait just a second to make sure that it knows that you've decided what you want to do, and then it's going to switch and it'll say on. Once it says on, it's going to work on coming to pressure. So you're going to make sure your venting valve is set to seal. It's going to be all wiggly jiggly until it seals, and that's fine, until it locks. When it comes to pressure, this will lock in place. The silver pin comes up, and your timer will say the time, and it will start counting down. Can't touch it, don't touch it, leave it alone, let it do its thing. Once it's done, it will beep, and then your time will say L, and it'll have a number. Okay. And it will start counting up, and that's just to let you know how long it's stayed in warming mode. Again, I'm going to do a full natural release, so I'm not going to open it until the pin drops down. And we'll come back after that, and we'll have cooked beans. Okay, so beans cooked. It took about 20 minutes to come to pressure, which may seem like a long time, but all of that 8 cups of water has to come to like a full boil. Beans cooked for 50 minutes. Again, I know mine are old. I give them a little more time. Typically, your fresh beans you buy at the store, 40-45 minutes should be sufficient. I say 40 because black beans are smaller than pinto beans, so they need about 40 minutes. White beans, pinto beans, kidney beans are a little bigger, but 45 minutes should be sufficient. And I let it full natural release, which took another 20-ish minutes. So now we're going to open it up. Careful of the steam, careful of the hot water in the lid. I also forgot to mention earlier, there's all sorts of distracted, sorry about that. You always want to rinse your beans and kind of pick through them. Sometimes you find little dirt or little pieces of dirt or rocks. It's normal. I mean, beans grow on the ground. Like, dirt happens. It's not a big deal. There's nothing wrong. Just rinse them, look through them. Typically, you don't find anything. The other thing, too, is when I dump it in, add the water, there might be some that come floating to the top. I just pull those out because they're not good to cook. And again, I seasoned mine with some taco seasoning because these are part of a taco salad bar that's happening. So here we go. You can leave them plain if you prefer to season your beans other ways, feel free. So I said I do something similar to this when you do refried beans. When I do my refried beans, I do reverse of what I'm doing now. I leave the beans in the pot and I use a ladle to pull the liquid off the pot. So I just stick my ladle down there, drain it into a bowl. So you kind of can't see the liquid anymore, and then I go in with my stick blender, and then you have refried beans. It's wonderful. If you wanted to find some other way, I used to like try to drain them in a colander in a bowl, and you can do that too, and then you just add the liquid back in to get the consistency that you want. Whatever works for you. You know, play around with it however you want to drain your beans. And then use that liquid. You won't use all of it, obviously, because there's a lot of liquid in there. Just be careful. It's all hot. Nobody needs to get burned. Okay, so here's our beans. Squish. That's really hot on my fingers. But they're nice and cooked. So there you have it. Like I say, dry beans, we know they're nutritious. We know they're inexpensive. Typically they're a pain to cook. You gotta remember to soak them overnight and rinse and all that stuff I talked about before. But doing them in the Instant Pot, it's less than 2 hours. There's no work ahead of time. You don't pay attention to it the entire time. What is that, 2 seconds? You dump in some beans, you dump in some water. Okay, we'll say a minute prep time. And then you're done. It's so easy, guys. It's so easy, right? That's why we all love our Instant Pot. And if you don't, you should. Because it's so easy and it's amazing and it's wonderful. So, share this amazing, wonderful video, because it's amazing and wonderful, right? With your friends. Feel free, please, to subscribe to the channel so you get notifications when we have new videos. The goal is always to get one out a week, because that's what in life I can manage, and I think, you know, trying to be consistent. Anyhow, well, I hope you give this a try, and like I said before, sorry, you thought I was going to be done. These freeze great, so you can freeze them. So let them cool, and then portion them out in whatever sized, you know, 15 ounces, whatever comes in a can, whatever you want to do. Portion them out, throw them in the freezer, and then they thaw just fine. Like I say, they're good finger food for babies. Use them in whatever recipes you need beans for. I freeze my refried beans all the time. Once I mash them, I divvy them up and freeze them because they're like one of my son's favorite foods. He doesn't eat a lot. He's 9 and he's weird about his food, but he loves, as we call them, squished beans. Anyhow, I hope you have a great day. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Like, subscribe, all the things, and we'll see you next time.